Obesity is often portrayed as the outcome of individual choices: what someone eats, how often they exercise, or whether they have enough willpower. But this narrow lens obscures a much larger, systemic reality. Many people live in environments that make healthy choices far more difficult, and in some cases, almost impossible. Environmental and socioeconomic factors play a critical yet underappreciated role in shaping obesity risk, not by directly forcing behaviors, but by creating the conditions in which those behaviors unfold. Where people live, how much they earn, how much time they have, and what kind of access they have to food and physical activity resources can either support or sabotage their ability to maintain a healthy weight. At the most basic level, access to nutritious food is far from equal. In many urban and rural areas alike, grocery stores stocked with fresh produce, whole grains, and lean proteins are scarce. These so-called food deserts are often populated by low-income families, where convenience stores and fast food chains offer the only nearby options. Even in areas where healthy food is technically available, it may be prohibitively expensive. For families living paycheck to paycheck, calorie-dense processed foods are often the only financially viable choice. High prices for fruits, vegetables, and other whole foods make it extremely difficult to prioritize nutrition, especially when cheaper alternatives offer far more energy per dollar. When food insecurity intersects with poverty, the paradox emerges: people may consume more calories but fewer nutrients, leading to both malnutrition and obesity at the same time. Moreover, environments that do not support physical movement compound the problem. Walkable neighborhoods, safe parks, and accessible public transportation aren't just amenities, they are powerful tools for maintaining metabolic health. When streets lack sidewalks, traffic is unsafe, or public spaces feel threatening due to crime or poor maintenance, people are far less likely to engage in even basic forms of movement like walking or biking. For children in low-income neighborhoods, this lack of safe recreational space can rob them of natural opportunities to be active and build healthy habits. Sedentary behaviors, driven by screens, long commutes, and unsafe surroundings, become the norm, not a choice. Work and economic stability also play a major role. People juggling multiple low-wage jobs or working irregular hours often don't have the time or energy to cook balanced meals or engage in regular exercise. Shift work and chronic stress disrupt sleep, hormone regulation, and appetite control, all of which are tightly linked to weight gain. Blue-collar workers may burn more calories on the job, but they are also more likely to suffer from joint problems, inflammation, or injuries that limit their ability to stay active as they age. Meanwhile, white-collar workers often spend long hours sitting at desks with few incentives to move. In both cases, the structural pressures of modern labor markets reinforce sedentary lifestyles and disordered eating patterns. Psychosocial stress, driven by financial insecurity, unsafe neighborhoods, job instability, or housing precarity, also promotes weight gain through both behavioral and physiological pathways. Chronic stress raises cortisol levels, which encourages fat storage, particularly in the abdominal area. It also drives emotional eating, disrupts sleep, and reduces motivation for exercise. For those living in marginalized communities, the stress load is often compounded by systemic discrimination, lower quality healthcare, and reduced access to preventive services. Obesity in this context is not simply about bad habits. It is a physiological and psychological response to sustained hardship and a lack of viable alternatives. Even marketing and media play a role. Fast food and processed snacks are disproportionately advertised in lower-income neighborhoods, often targeting children and adolescents with aggressive, emotionally manipulative campaigns. Billboards, social media, and television push high-calorie, low-nutrient foods constantly, while nutritious eating is portrayed as a lifestyle reserved for the affluent. Organic grocery stores, boutique fitness studios, and expensive supplements reinforcing the idea that health is a luxury, not a right. Educational attainment intersects with all of these issues. People with more education tend to have better knowledge of nutrition, more stable employment, and higher incomes, which all correlate with healthier weights. But educational gaps in nutrition literacy mean that even when healthier foods are available, people may not understand how to use them effectively, or may be swayed by misleading food labels and diet trends that offer quick fixes without substance. This systemic inequity doesn't just harm individuals, it burdens public health systems, deepens health disparities, and perpetuates cycles of poverty and illness. Children born into food-insecure households are more likely to develop obesity, diabetes, and heart disease at younger ages, further straining resources and opportunities as they grow older. Without intervention, this cycle continues. Poor environments create poor health, which then makes it harder to escape economic hardship. Recognizing the environmental and socioeconomic dimensions of obesity is not about excusing personal responsibility, it's about expanding the frame. To address obesity meaningfully, we must look beyond individual behavior and ask what systems are shaping that behavior, who has access to health-supporting environments, and who does not. Solutions must include structural changes, subsidizing healthy food, regulating food marketing, redesigning urban spaces to encourage movement, ensuring equitable access to healthcare and education, and reducing income inequality. Only then can we shift the weight conversation from blame to strategy, from judgment to justice. Obesity is not merely a personal struggle, it is a societal challenge, deeply rooted in how we build our neighborhoods, structure our economies, and value our people. Any lasting progress will come not just from diet advice, but from the collective will to create environments where health is accessible to everyone, not just the privileged few.